So today I want to show off one of my camping crates, and this is the crate I built for my Dutch oven. Before I built the crate, I used to just carry around the Dutch oven and pack it in a bag, and it tended to just make a lot of noise in the car and just kind of be a hassle to move around, as well as just kind of being awkward in the space it took up. So that's what this is for, is to kind of make transporting it and storing it a bit easier. So the whole thing is built in the manner of a crate. It's 1 foot tall, 14.5 inches wide, and 14.5 inches long. If I slide the lid off, you can see it's got a plywood backing. This is just Luan, 1/8 inch Luan, really cheap stuff. And to that is stapled a frame of 2x4s that are cut down to just under 1/2 inch thicknesses. And so you build a bunch of panels like this, and that's what makes the wall and lid of the crate. And the base is just a thicker piece of plywood, so it's solid thickness. And that's how the crate's assembled. The top is a little different in the fact that it's actually got a double thickness. It's got the plywood here, but then in the middle is glued down a second sheet of plywood. And I think it's Baltic birch scrap in the middle here instead of Luan to make it tougher. And the reason for that is because this is a nice, good-sized crate, and if you're going to have this around camp, you might as well have it so you can sit on it or stand on it. You know, it's a little, haul around as like a little step ladder. But more importantly, is you can set the Dutch oven up on top of here, and it becomes a really great platform for serving the food from after you're done cooking it. Because if you have a normal camp table, our portable table is plastic. We can't put the Dutch oven on it. We can put the Dutch oven on this. So that works out really great. Inside we have this shelf, and it just has the slot cut for it with the table saw, and it's glued in. The shelf keeps the lid off the Dutch oven so they don't clatter, and it just kind of gives it its own space, which is really nice. And then the Dutch oven just slides in. The plywood I used for the bottom is really rough on the inside, and that ended up being a little unfortunate because the feet are so small that it kind of can make it hard to slide in. And then in the Dutch oven, when I'm storing it, I just keep it full of salt. I picked up that tip somewhere. Works from what I can tell. Helps keep the moisture out of it, but the crate does a really good job of that already. If I stick this up here, so you see it's a really good stand for the Dutch oven. When I'm cooking with the Dutch oven, and the Dutch oven's on the fire, the whole box makes a really good place to set the lid while it's got all the coals on it, where it won't get dirty. And then when you have the Dutch oven out and you have the lid off it, just putting it right back in here is also a great place to store the lid while it's still hot. Before you put it in, you'll want to have the coals off of it, of course. But you can see it's got burn marks from being hot while still being put in there. Overall, this is one of my more useful camping crates I've made. I really like it a lot. It keeps the Dutch oven really well protected, and it makes it really easy to bring along. It makes it less cumbersome to bring, but also the crate does add a little bit of size, not that much. So there is a trade-off, but it's pretty reasonable. A crate this size for holding a Dutch oven this size. Only thing is sometimes it can be a tight fit. And there we go. So there we go. There's the Dutch oven camping crate.